So today is one of the most wild days you'll ever see in the markets. Let me show you guys what's going on. Dow closes wild session up 200 points as oil reverses lower and Trump signals Iran war near an end. So the war could be over, and that's a good thing, right? But it's such a major surprise since the Dow was down like I think 1,200 points at one point. Oil was absolutely spiking, and suddenly we've all changed our minds, evidently. I think someone got to Trump as essentially get him to change his mind, I guess. Trump says war is, quote, very complete, easing turmoil across the markets. Again, if you're watching this major reversal is absolutely crazy, like just how fast it moves. Trump says war very complete. Okay. Talks to Putin. Of course he does, right? So maybe that's right there tells you that, tells you all you need to know. I talked to Putin. Putin says end the war. We're ending the war. I mean, is that where we're at in today's markets? G7 quote stands ready to release emergency oil reserves. So that was the talk. Also, there was a real scare in the market as oil jumped up to I think 120 at that point or something around there. Now at the moment, if you guys were following this, it is below 100 again. Can you believe that? It's at 87 WTI. Brent crude is at 90. So it's back under 100. This is like wild swings. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this in oil. If you guys have, please let me know. This is crazy. Because before we were talking about oil moved up like the most since it's like 20 years. I think one thing it was saying like most in 40 years, since 1983 kind of years. Like what? Okay, so Trump had this phone call. We'll read through it. I'll just show you what he says, and you guys can make the decision what's going on. It says, in a phone interview, President Trump told me the war could be over soon. Okay, we're talking about the end of the war. Quote, I think the war is very complete, pretty much. And also, they've changed their language. Now they're just outright saying it's a war. Again, that's from Trump. I think the war is very complete, pretty much, okay? They have no Navy, no communications. They've got no Air Force. He added that the U.S. is, quote, very far ahead of his initial 4-week estimate time frame. My other reaction also is Iran just named their new leader, and I wonder, is there some sort of deal made, or did the Trump people say just back off? I really don't know. I'm just showing you what it says because it's just such a reversal so quickly. More asked about Iran's new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, who Trump has openly criticized. He said, quote, I have no message for him, none whatsoever. Okay. Trump said he has someone in mind to replace Khamenei, but did not elaborate. What does that mean? And I'm just showing you what he says. As for the Strait of Hormuz, Trump noted that the ships are moving through now, but he is, quote, thinking about taking it over. See, he makes all these odd statements. You always wonder, like, what is this? Like, okay. Trump warned Iran, quote, they've shot everything they have to shoot, and they better not try anything cute, or it's going to be the end of that country. And sometimes I wonder if we're talking about, ourselves here, because there's been real concerns that the U.S. is running out of munitions, right? And this is his words. I mean, whenever we talk about this stuff, it's like, how do we interpret what Trump is saying? Other than the markets are thinking this might be the end. So someone on the inside knows something, right? Is it that just this whole thing's completely unsustainable? You can't use these $1 million missiles or interceptors, I want to call it, to shoot down, thousands, tens of $1,000 drones. The math just doesn't add up, and that's just math, right? And plus, again, it looks like we replaced Khamenei with another Khamenei, so even more hardline than his dad. And then the markets, right now, we're responding to Trump's words. Stock market today, oil slips, stocks bounce on Trump's war progress comments. I think the war is very much very complete, pretty much. All right, so I guess it's back to the grifting as usual. So the markets theoretically are going to go back to normal, whatever that means. And now we're talking about shoes. Like how are we to explain this? What's going on? This is Trump also, right? So if the war is indeed coming to an end, we're going back to shoes and other Trump stuff. Trump is obsessed with these $145 shoes and won't let anyone leave without a pair. I know you're probably like, how are we transitioning from war to shoes? I'm as befuddled as you guys are, right? Isn't this crazy? Now we're talking about shoes. So evidently, if you work with around Trump or whatever, the kind of expectation is you have to wear the uniform, which is these shoes. So we're all wearing the same shoes here. It says Trump is gifting footwear to agency heads, lawmakers. Did you get the shoes? He asked at cabinet meetings. Oh, okay. He gave a pair to Tucker. It says Trump suddenly pivoted to his incredible new shoes and gave Tucker a pair of brown wingtips. I wonder, because there was a time when Tucker went into the White House and Tucker had some sort of gift, which I was like, what the heck's in that bag? It was kind of weird. And if you guys follow my channel for a long time, you'll remember this. And I pointed out very clearly, it was this really strange to be like, are you, bribing people? Like, what are you doing? Like, seriously, you're giving gifts. And I wonder if that in that bag was shoes. Shoes with, who knows what else is in there, but I'll just say that. You got it. And here's a quote from the White House. All the boys have them, said the female White House official. Another joked, it's hysterical because everyone's afraid not to wear them. The shoe salesman in chief is paying attention. Okay, great. And then we're I don't know what to say. Oil prices declined after nearly hitting $120 as Trump says U.S. considering taking over Hormuz. And then we got this Trump's son's back launch of new military drone company. So basically, we're again ending the war and going back to our normal grift. We're getting into drone companies. And the idea is we're going to take a drone company and merge it with a golf course. For real. Autonomous Power Corporation, quote, which builds, scales autonomous drone systems for military and commercial use in high-risk environments, is set to merge with the NASDAQ-listed golf course group Oris Greenway Holdings. So I guess we're a drone golf course company now. That's what the Trump kids are up to. And yes, it is as stupid as it sounds, the same way that having everyone in around Trump wear the same shoes. But how do I even talk about this stuff? But that's what it is. Okay, great. That's what we're doing. And then Trump's granddaughter is like, you know what? If my uncles are, grifting with the drones and the golf courses, I got to do my grift on YouTube. So she's making videos bragging about having Secret Service, which there's some really ethical concerns with this. I think you guys can probably see like, what the heck? And this is the title of her video. I brought my Secret Service to Erewhon. And this is a neighborhood in LA. And then the Lincoln Project says your kids might get drafted to fight in Iran while Trump family uses your tax dollars to shop premium organic gluten-free cake. Huh. It's as nutty as it sounds. The president's daughter is allowed to live her life with adequate protection, but I think titling your vlog, quote, I brought my Secret Service to Erewhon, and highlighting your rolling around California with 7 vehicles, so that would be 3 motorcycles, 4 SUVs, motorcade is a misfire. Yeah, and I agree. You have a right to do whatever you like, but yeah, don't brag about Secret Service and that kind of thing. It's a bit weird, but a lot of stuff that Trump people are doing is weird. Weird, corrupt, however you want to phrase it. Like, for example, this is what they're posting today. So again, I guess we're ending the war and we're going back to our usual grift. We're going to have an Indy car race, the sports car, race cars, sports cars, race cars, I guess better how you say it, around DC. So they've mapped out the track. I know every time I look at this stuff, I'm just like, is this reality? It really is South Park. Freedom 250 Grand Prix in DC. That's what we're doing here.
Moments ago, they unveiled the car for the America 250 Grand Prix. This is a race unlike anything we've ever seen before, coming to DC in August. I'm going to get out of the way and show you this is the car that they are unveiling. I'll get a little closer. You can see this thing. It is a beauty. This thing just getting unveiled. You see the Department of Transportation sticker on it, as well as the IndyCar logo. This is going to be a huge event where they're expecting about 1 million people to be in the nation's capital when this comes to happen in August. I believe August 23rd is the exact date. And as I mentioned, tickets are going to be free, open to the public. But man, this thing is very, very cool to see. We know that President Trump is going to be dropping the green flag to start this race, and it's going to be a big deal for DC because they're going to be closing down the streets, Pennsylvania Avenue, the areas around the Smithsonian's, because they want people to see this right here to celebrate America's 250 well after the July 4th. So there's going to be a lot of festivities with this.
And so basically what this is literally a bread and circus, thing. Don't solve the people's real problems in the USA. Just throw them a big party, spend a bunch of money on you and your Bill and their buddies racing race cars around DC. That's what our focus is on. It's as crazy as it sounds. Okay. And then I guess now we're taking in the women's soccer team from Iran, which if that's what you do, great. Trump says U.S. willing to take in Iranian women's soccer team. And I wonder how that's going to go with MAGA, where they want to build walls, but I guess apparently not. I don't know, guys. Today I'm just scratching my head on everything that's happening. I think what happened was his advisors got to Trump. Trump talked to Putin and is like, you got to end this thing. You're going to send us all in depression. And then oil went right back down. I think people got to him. The markets got to him. Putin, probably said, yo, end this thing. And now we're done. It's as crazy as it sounds. I'll keep you guys updated on what's going on, and I'll catch you all in the next video.